All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Look, before we get started, let me just double check sound and audio, make sure we're all good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into it. We're going to take a look at what's happening in the market. We're going to get ready for CPI data, which comes out in about 10 minutes or so. And we're going to get going. I usually hit the gym in the morning, take my time, but a little bit of a pretty important day here. So, want to get this going. Good morning, everyone. Happy. All right, it looks good. Sound and audio good. Let me know in the chat if everything is all good on your guys' side. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started here in about 30 seconds to a minute. So, like I said, pretty important day. Pretty important day today. Obviously, there's a bunch of things that we need to be on the lookout for. CPI data is coming in. We had PPI data just yesterday, which is the producer price index. That was pretty good. We saw it came in a little bit lower than forecasted, obviously leading the market to assume that maybe we're going to even be in a position in which we start to see inflation not rising as much, which obviously is what caused the pullback from last month. And so, with that in mind, a bunch of stuff going on today. So obviously, we are going to get into it. I just realized that I didn't turn the stream public. So let's go ahead and let's make that public so other people can join in and see that we got started. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get started here in about 2 minutes or so. Need to get the stream going. I just realized that it was not. There we go. It was not public. Now it's public. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I started the stream a little bit prematurely. I forgot to turn the stream public. Glad I realized though. How's it going, everyone? I hope your morning is going super good. Gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. Very curious to see what news we get in about 10 minutes or so here. So, like I told the chat before, we're going to just take a quick look at what's going on in the market. Then we're going to jump in and go over, obviously, the CPI data, which comes out. We'll do a little bit of individual analysis on a lot of the market. We're going to be doing a good bit of stuff today. Hopefully, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. I will tell you all that I have every intention to start streaming again. I used to stream 3 or 4 times a week, but obviously, it is just a little bit hard to maintain. But now that I have upped the production value, or quality on my actual channel in my individual videos, I can now start doing, one video a day, 2 videos a day, and then one live stream every other day or something like that. So very excited to jump back on stream with you all. Good morning to everyone. I hope you have been having a fantastic morning. I was good to see you all alive. No lizard food in the comments. We love to see it. And let's jump into the chat for about 30 seconds here, and then we'll jump into the charts. Get ready for the CPI data in about 9 or 10 minutes. So good morning, Scott. How's it going? Muhammad, how are you doing? Bebeto, J King, everyone, happy to see you. Happy to see you. Let's go. What are the lizard people doing? They're waiting. They're waiting. I think they already know what's going on, but you guys know how it goes. Milan, how you doing? Rahani, YZ, Millie, good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic morning this morning. And like I said, I plan on getting back on live streams a whole bunch more. I really do enjoy these ones. I know I haven't streamed in about 3 weeks, but we have the merge coming with the school and a couple things cooking behind the scenes. But I hope you have been enjoying the content. I know a lot of you are new here. The channel went from about 90,000 subscribers to pushing to 120,000 just in the last couple weeks. And so it's been great having you all. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. Okay, let's get started then, shall we? I don't want to waste your time. I know you guys have better things to do today, and we got to be, ready to get going. Let's go. So let's share screen here. Boom, boom, screen 2. All right. So what do we have coming out today? Well, we have CPI data coming out today. Okay, Tyler, what is CPI data? CPI data is a consumer price index. It's the measurement of inflation from the consumer's perspective. So whenever you go to the store, when you go to buy something, does it cost more than it used to or less than it used to? Obviously, this is important because it can tell us how things are inflating from a price perspective. Well, Tyler, how in the world does that impact crypto? Well, the way in which it impacts crypto is because it's actually more of how it impacts crypto is more of a side effect of what happens as a result of it. And what I mean by that is that if inflation is going, let's say, down, hypothetically, right? It's going down. Well, that means that the economy is in a bit of a better spot. The Fed would say, okay, well, good. Our battle against inflation is being won. Maybe we can take our hands out the economy a little bit. Maybe we can, reduce these interest rates a little bit. Stop putting so much strain on the economy because they don't want to strain the economy, right? They don't want to have to put in some of these tighter interest rates and all these things that are kind of forcing it. But they have to protect the economy from inflation. Is what they need to do. So if inflation is coming down, the Fed goes in, they say, okay, maybe we can loosen up a bit. Maybe we can relax a little bit. Maybe we don't have to put all of these things on the economy that are going to strain it down. And as a result of that, oftentimes what happens is that money becomes more easily accessible as a result of interest rates dropping, which typically then we'll see flow into risk on assets like stocks, crypto, and oftentimes real estate as well, which isn't so much a risk on asset, but it's just how it works. So what it means, put simply, is that if inflation is going down, usually it is good for crypto because money becomes more accessible, and crypto is definitely a liquidity based asset. So yesterday, we got PPI. PPI is a producer price index. Okay. Now, the PPI was actually pretty good. We saw, of course, that the PPI, and let me explain to you what that is. So, you remember how I said you go to the store and you buy something, and whatever you buy, you're the consumer. So, if you're spending more or spending less, that's consumer price index. It's a consumer side of inflation. Well, producers also have inflation. They have things, if their cost of goods goes up, higher inflation. Cost of goods goes down, lower inflation. So yesterday, from a producer side, which is what we got, we actually saw that inflation was dropping. And not only, or not particularly, but I'm not going to get into that. But I mean it more in the sense that the producer inflation was going, it grew. This is going to sound so stupid to say out loud, but it grew at a slower rate than people expected it to. So it's not particularly dropping, but it did come in better than expected. So as a result of that, the market liked it. I mean, we all saw it. Yesterday, we did see the market start going up a little bit. As you can see here, we saw that little rally from about, let's go out. No, I don't want you. Let's see. Yesterday's daily candle was pretty damn good. Let's see. We went up roughly from like 94,000 towards 96,000. A very solid, very strong day. And that was because people are hoping that means that we're going to see the consumer price index come in better today. Now, the forecast for today. Okay, let's get this bad boy up here. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Tyler Crypto Talk. But the forecast for today is 2.9% CPI. Okay. Now, if we see it come in at 2.9% or better, I actually think that better means lower, by the way, 2.9% or lower, that is actually going to be pretty good for the market. It's going to confirm some of these thoughts that people are having. It's going to confirm the fact that we may actually be seeing in the battle against inflation one. Maybe we're going to see monetary policy ease up a little bit. Maybe we're going to see the Fed ease up a little bit. And it probably is going to put the market in a good spot. It doesn't guarantee that the market's going to pump. You guys know how the lizard people do. If this thing could go at any direction. So I'm not going to say it's one of those things that's just going to send us upwards, but it definitely is going to remove one of those catalysts that has been forcing us into more of the sideways movement, right? The reason why the market's been a little bit ugly recently has quite simply been because people were getting concerned about the economy again, and they were getting concerned about the fight against inflation. Because if the Fed had to continue to fight inflation, it's going to put a strain on Bitcoin and many other assets. And so if we can see that inflation is moving in a good direction, even better than expected, well, then we'll be in a spot in which we, of course, maybe can see one of those constraints taken off the market, possibly opening up the door to the upside. Now, if it comes in worse than expected, I think that will be quite ugly for the market. I think people are excited. I think people are really optimistic right now, and you can start to see that, right? You look at the liquidation map, for example, we go here, you can see a lot of people are betting big right now on the 1 day, on the 7 day, hell, even on the 30 day. We're seeing a lot of people betting big that this market's going to go up if we get good CPI data, which is scary, by the way, but it is what it is. But that means that a lot of people, if we do see this bad boy come in worse than expected, we're probably going to be in a spot in which this market's going to pull back, right? If I just had to guess. Now, the market goes against you all the time. It might not, but that would make a lot of sense. All the people who started buying right here after they got optimistic about PPI would most likely sell if CPI came in worse than expected. There is a piece of me that thinks that we may see the market kind of pull back a little bit if CPI comes in exactly at 2.9%. And I'm just trying to think like a super new retail investor, right? And I think there may be some people who are thinking, well, since PPI came in better than expected, CPI should come in better than expected. And if CPI comes in better than expected, that's really good. But if CPI comes in at expected, well, that's not as good. So I'm going to sell. As dumb as that sounds, that's how some people think. So there is a piece of me that says, okay, if we come in at 2.9%, maybe we need to really be a little bit careful. But obviously, time will just tell. There's really not much we can do about that. And so with that in mind, that's kind of what we're expecting. And so all we're going to do in the next few minutes here is we're just going to keep an eye out. We're going to go look and we're going to see, okay, what's happening? The CPI coming at 2.9. 3.5 and everything goes to zero, right? 2.5 and everything goes up. What happens? That's what we're going to be looking at. If you want to keep track of it yourself, go to @BLS_gov. This is going to be where they do post the update in which we can then go take a look at. So for the next, let's see, minute or so, we're going to just kind of jump into the chat and we're going to let this all play out. Welcome in, everyone. There are 600 of you in here on this bright and early morning, where I am at least. So happy to have you all in here. As I mentioned before, I did tell the chat earlier, I do want to start doing a lot more live streams. I want to get back on camera, especially now that I'm only posting 1 or 2 videos a day that are full of content. I'm not posting 5, 6, 7 videos anymore. So I feel like I can do more live. So be on the lookout for 3 or 4 of them every single week. Happy to have you all in here. Shout out everybody. And if you are in here and if you have not pressed that like button, go ahead and give it a gentle elbow on the forehead like a lizard. Okay, let's get into it, baby. What we got? 729, almost there. Curious. I will tell you all, I am still in a spot to where I am not buying, I'm not selling, I'm not leverage trading, I'm not doing anything. I'll explain all of that after we get the news. Okay, I'll tell you guys what my strategy is, my plan. I'm going to tell you when I'm buying, when I'm selling, when I'm leverage trading, all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that and let's see what happens. Good morning, everyone. Absolutely. Zuka, shout out to you, homie. Shout out to you. Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, Mitz. Good morning. 729. Love from Vietnam. Shout out to you. Would love to visit that country one day. I need some luck in my life, man. T, create that luck. You got it. And here we go, baby. 7:30. Let's see if we got anything new. Not yet. Barath, shout out to you. Happy to see it. Happy to see it. Oh, Edward, how's it going, champ? How we doing? Let's see. Forecast actual 2.9%, 2.9%. Can't trust these ones so much, so I'm just going to kind of give it a second, but it looks like we got 2.9%. U.S. inflation data released bullish. CPI 2.9% versus 2.9%, 3.2% core CPI versus 3.3 estimate. Month over month growth 0.4% versus that. Okay, core CPI 0.2% versus 0.3%. If this is true, the market will react pretty damn good to it. Just kind of waiting to see it for myself here. Let's see. Yes, CPI for all items rises 0.4% in December. Gasoline and shelter up. The expected month over month growth was expected to be 0.4%. We got 0.4%. Core CPI was expected to rise 0.3%. We got a rise of 0.2%. Guys, this is good news. This is good news. Again, it doesn't mean that the market's going to rally. As I mentioned before, if we come in unexpected, maybe there's a chance we pull back a little bit. Some people are going to maybe want to get out. But overall, this is very, very good news. That initial sell the news event is happening right now. I think we might maybe see a little bit more selling. Of course, there is a lot of resistance up here, which I'll talk about in a second here. But overall, very good news. Very, very, very good news. I love to see it. Obviously, could be better, right? We could have seen an even better than expected CPI report. But this does mean that we are seeing inflation under control, or at least to the level in which we do expect it to be under control. And this is going to be a good sign for the Fed. This is going to ease their worries a little bit. They're going to be like, okay, maybe we're in a spot where inflation's not running out of control. Maybe we're not going to go full-blown money printing mode, right? But maybe we don't have to tighten things up. This is a very good piece of news. Let's kind of dive into it now. Let's go see what we got here, okay? Here we go, baby. Here we go. So I'm glad that, one thing that I will say, I am very glad the market's not moving too crazy right now. I'll explain all that in a second here. Let me actually just get you through the news, okay? So let's see here. December 2024, 0.4% month over month increase. That it's not amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's not amazing, because one thing people have to understand is that we had a full grip on it. July, August, September, 0.2% increase month over month. That's fine. That's sustainable. That's what, 2.4% per year. Totally okay. November, though, month over month increase of 0.3%. December, 0.4%. That's not the best, right? What that means is that month over month inflation is ramping up, but it's not ramping up out of control right now. I did see some people saying that Well, Tyler, of course it's going to happen because it's Christmas holidays and things like that. But no, these are seasonally adjusted changes from the preceding month, meaning it is already accounting for seasonality. So this is just in general, it is going up. It's not what you want to see, but it is what we're seeing. And so ideally, we do see this flatten out a little bit. What you do have to understand is that everything is not linear, right? And I mean that in the sense that you're not just going to see anything. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, Bitcoin's going crazy. Let's get through this. But what I want to remind you of is that and nothing is just like this. Nothing is just like this. Whenever you're even talking about inflation, it's going to look like this. That's normal. Go look at any charts from any history on anything that has rising or falling interest. It's just what happens. And so I do think / hope we are in a period in which we are seeing just a little bit of a general correction upwards here for inflation, but obviously only time will tell. If we do kind of dive into this thing, see if there's anything that stands out. Not really. We saw a rather big fall off in fuel and oil. That's a good thing to see. And overall, the 12 months, nothing too crazy that's standing out to me. Food increased 0.3%. That's not bad. Energy index did increase 2.6% after rising 2. So the energy index definitely jumped up a good bit. That is something that we'll talk about, keep an eye on. Core CPI rose 0.2% after rising 0.3% each of the 4 preceding months. That's actually a good sign, though. So when you remove food and you remove energy, we're actually seeing the rate of growth and inflation dropping, which is a good sign. Fuel and food are volatile things. They are also they are intertwined a little bit, right? If the cost of fuel goes up or down, it will impact food, obviously, because of production costs. And so that is something that's interesting to think about. That overall core CPI is dropping. And I think that's what the Fed is going to care about more, because there's only so much you can control when it comes to fuel and food, because there are so many different dynamics that impact them on a daily basis. So that is actually a good thing to see, the fact that we are seeing core CPI dropping in comparison to month over month growth from the last couple months. Actually better. Where was that at? Just saw it here. It rose 0.2% in December after rising 0.3% in each of the 4 preceding months. So that means that it actually performed better than the preceding 4 months. Very good stuff. I think the Fed's going to like this. And again, I don't really care for the Fed. I don't think they've done a great job. I think they've done some quite dumb stuff. But at the end of the day, this is a very good sign for the crypto market. I'm pretty optimistic about it. I wouldn't fall too deeply into this. I'll kind of talk about the technicals here in a second. I don't want you guys to get too far ahead of yourselves. No need to get big FOMO. But overall, this is pretty good news. What's up, everybody? Welcome in, everyone. How's it going? This is, catalyst number 1, though. This is catalyst number 1. We obviously have CPI data. Then we have likely Gary Gensler steps down, I think, on the 19th or something like that, 4 days from now. Trump coming in 5 days. So, yeah, a lot of good things. I mean, to get out of this sideways range that we've been in for Bitcoin, it was going to take some good catalysts back to back, and this could kind of be the start of that. The market has reacted quite favorably, in my opinion. I do like the fact that we didn't just see the crypto market absolutely rally up until the 20th, because that would signal some sort of more macro blow off top to be on the way. So we have been in a rather healthy spot with the market, and I'm pretty optimistic about what we're seeing right now. What we can do, let's answer any questions. Well, let's 2 quick minutes if any of you have any quick questions. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot into the charts. I'm going to tell you guys my strategy, what I'm doing, my game plan, what I'm buying, and then much more. So feel free to ask a few questions away if you want. And then, let's get into it. I think H-bar just broke out. H-bar did indeed break out. ADA just broke out a little bit. And I'll also tell you guys, I'll take you through some of them: Solana, SWI, XRP, ADA, H-bar. I'll take you through them and just kind of tell you what to be on the lookout for today. It's a rather easy picture to paint. So we'll go through it. DXY is hurting liquidity. Brett, ADA, let's like this guy, please. Yeah, drop a like. That'd be great. Much appreciated, everyone. Bear's getting wrecked, so we can start buying again. Pepe chart, can you check out height? Fat, please. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So what is my game plan? So let's start off with total one. Let me actually paint a bit of a picture first. Let me see. Oh, we'll go to total one. That's fine. Okay, so let's head out. Look, I know it's fun to get all caught up in the short term, but what I need you to do is I need you all to zoom out. Okay, I need you all to zoom out. So whenever we look at total one, which is the total market cap of altcoins, what I want you to understand is that, yes, what we are seeing today is great, but we're not out of the woods. I feel like I'm still that guy who is just kind of being annoying and telling you guys the same message all the time, but I cannot in good faith tell you, hey, now's the time to go absolutely crazy. Start buying now, because from a technical perspective, we still have a mission in front of us, okay? We still have a lot in front of us. What you need to understand is that the total market cap of crypto and crypto in general still has quite the battle in front of it. What we can see here is that we are still in what's called a descending wedge. This is a structure that is typically bullish and you will typically break out of, but we've not done that yet. We still have the top side of this wedge above us. We are currently running into a golden zone of resistance. As you can see here, we're very close to it now. Then on top of that one, there's another golden zone of resistance, just like this from that previous high, meaning that we're going to see a substantial amount of resistance in between where we are now and about $3.57 trillion right here. Look. Let's do that for you. So with this in mind, obviously, all things considered, you have to understand that the battle is only getting started. Okay. It's only getting started. There's so much that needs to happen. There's so much growth that needs to happen. We need to break into this red box, break above this descending level, hold on top of it, back test and maintain some support. Use that to then break up and clear this previous high right here to set the new higher high, to reverse the trend, give us a breakout, give us a cool down, and then we can open the door upwards. There's so many things that still need to happen above us. And they haven't happened yet. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is that realistically, although things may feel bullish over the last few days, we might still have quite a ways, in terms of room to the upside to go, right? This means that if I was going to be buying, which I'm not buying, by the way, I'm going to just be super honest with you guys. I'm not buying right now. Tyler, why are you not buying? Well, the reason I'm not buying is because I was buying on the red days. I was buying when crypto influencers were screaming that the world was going to end, right? I was buying Bitcoin at 90.6, Ethereum at 3,000, XLM at 0.40, ADA at 90. I mean, let's go look at this, right? I bought Bitcoin at 90.6K. I announced this over in the school on January 13th. And what you can see here, let me get this closer, is that Bitcoin, for example, is at 98,000. I bought Bitcoin at 3,000. Bitcoin's at 3,200. Bought ADA at 0.90. ADA is now at $1.04. So a lot of us here on the channel, and I told you all this just a couple days ago, we were buying in this, right? So I'm not going to jump in and start buying right here. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would I chase the hype? I buy when crypto Twitter guys are freaking out. I don't buy when they're excited, right? And so because of that, I'm not buying. But if I was buying, let's say hypothetically, you just cannot help yourself. You have to buy. What I would be doing is I would still be taking it slow. I think getting some dollar cost averages in right now is not the worst idea ever. The reason I say that is because intrinsically, this is a good thing for crypto. The fact that inflation data came in at expectations and a little bit better than expectations on core CPI is a good thing for crypto. Meaning, in my opinion, intrinsically, more value was added into the environment of crypto. Maybe not crypto specifically, but the environment that it's in. And if inflation is somewhat still under control, and that is going to be a bullish thing for the economy, well, that typically should imply that crypto can perform better over a more sustained period of time. And so knowing that the value of crypto's environment has increased, which could then impact crypto's prices, sure, dollar cost averaging right now isn't the worst idea on earth, but I wouldn't be doing it big. I would not be buying big portions and absolutely dumping all of my money into it, because why would I? It's a big resistance zone, guys. There's so much, so much happening right here in this zone, in this red box. You need to just be aware that at any given point, if the bulls get too greedy, this market could fall. What I will say is that this is going to be harder for the lizard people, right? As you all know, maybe you're new here and you don't know, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I say that there are lizard people who control this market that pull strings to make the market move in either direction, to force liquidations, pushing retail investors out so they can take as much crypto as they possibly can. That's my honest belief, right? And so because of that, what I will say is this is going to be harder for the lizard people to manipulate because we do have a good catalyst. It's going to be hard for the lizard people to force these pullbacks towards, say, 3 trillion or whatever, quite simply just because people are bullish and people aren't going to want to sell as much. There's not going to be as much bearish sentiment that they can capitalize on well. But it is still possible that if the bulls do get too greedy and we do continue to see these liquidations to the upside, right? I mean, these liquidations to the downside, if we continue to see them build and build and build and build, seeing some sort of pullbacks, seeing some sort of moments where we wick back down to head back upwards is very possible. And so because of that, I'm just simply not going to be buying a lot while we're pushing up into a resistance box. Typically, the best approach in a situation like this, whenever you want to buy, but we have big points of resistance above us, is just to do it slowly. Generally, if you do it slowly, you'll be able to buy the process of the breakout. What I mean by that is that, say Bitcoin, or say the total market cap of crypto just does this, builds, double bottom, comes up, boom, 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 right? Let's say hypothetically, this is what happens. Is this what's going to happen? I have no idea. It doesn't matter. The whole point is, if you start dollar cost averaging in right now, although If you were just to wait, that would be a great purchase. Most of you are going to be a lot more worried. You're going to be scared. You're going to be emotional. The second that it comes back down here, you're going to say, oh, I bought the top. Let me sell now and buy the bottom. Then it never hits the bottom. And then you're going to make a mistake here, right? And so rather than just dollar cost or just buying, lump sum right here, what I would say to do is buy the process of the breakout. And what that means is buy a little bit here. And if it goes up, buy a little bit here. If it goes down, maybe buy a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then maybe a little bit less, and buy throughout the breakout. So rather than just getting in right here, what you were actually able to do was to reduce that average cost somewhere, I would assume somewhere right here, and you had some cash left over throughout this. Worst case scenario, if you just dollar cost averaging a little bit right now, is that the market just absolutely flies. And well, that's a risk you're going to have to take. But at least the purchases you are making right here will be in profit, and you'll be able to lock in some profits one way or another. Making profit has never made someone broke. And so because of that, that's the approach that I would be taking right now. Again, I'm not buying crypto right now because we were buying a couple days ago. I prefer to. Matter of fact, there's a chance I even take a little bit of profit off the table as we do hit the top side of this, because there is a possibility that we do get rejected. But if I was going to be buying, that's the approach that I would be taking. What I'm doing right now is I'm using what's happening on Total 1, Total 2, and Bitcoin to actually determine what I'm doing in my mass portfolio rather than looking at each individual crypto, but obviously to each their own. Now, translating this over to Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is in a very similar situation. Do you guys remember in my last maybe 10 or 15 videos, I've told you all not to do anything big while we're in the red box between 90,000 and 100,000. Look at this. Where you at? There we go. Now, do you see why? Do you see why back here? It was December 21st. For some reason, I just remember that date like crazy. It was December 21st, which is right here. I told you all, don't do anything big, because we're going to see this market have big dumps. We're going to see it have big pumps. We're going to see it have fake outs, false breakouts, liquidity hunts, micro pumps, and much more. And since then, since December 21st, every single one of those things that I warned you about did happen. Did I know it was going to happen? Obviously not, guys. No one can predict what's going to happen. But in moments like this, which we call the HMZ, a high manipulation zone, translates into a NTZ, a no trade zone. I'm not doing big leverage trades. I'm not even doing big spot buys or big spot sells while we're in this red box. And quite frankly, guys, although what we saw today was great and it could be the start to getting out of this, we're not out of it yet. And I need to just drill that in your brain. We're not out of it yet. And while we're in it, anything can and will happen. So what do we need to see? Well, what we need to see from Bitcoin, first and foremost, is breaking $100,000. That's the obvious thing. $100,000 is a psychological level. $99,817 is a 786 zone for this golden Fibonacci zone. We have the descending point of resistance that is sitting directly above us right here. We have a whole bunch of resistance above us. And will Bitcoin possibly just break straight up through it? Yeah, it's very possible and very well might do it. But guess what? It's not done it yet. And all these guys on Twitter, I'm not going to name any names, but you know who I'm talking about. They're going to say next stop 110K, next stop 120K, next stop 140K. Everything's good. CPI data this, CPI data that. And it very well might. But what I do know is they are telling you that based off hope, not stats, not data, not facts. Because quite simply, the facts show we've not confirmed a breakout at all yet. We've not confirmed a breakout at all yet. So what I want you to be on the lookout for is I want you to be on the lookout at these resistance zones, because this is what is going to determine whether or not we do start making those moves upward, not crypto Twitter, guys. Okay, so be on the lookout. Realistically, $100,000 is step one. Breaking that previous high would be the best thing we could do. That would be the moment where I would be like, okay, I think we're in a good spot. That would be the very first time that we have seen a higher high on the macro since we saw the dump back in December. And that would be a very good sign. Sure, it would probably mean we need to come back down and find some sort of higher low to actually establish an uptrend, but it doesn't matter. This would very likely be the signal to me that we're actually out of this HMZ. We're out of the high manipulation zone. There still will be manipulation, but it's going to be harder for them to execute on it. And so that's what I'm looking for. So although it's fantastic, we're just not there yet. Okay, we're just not there yet. So just be careful. No high leverage right now. No big sales, no big buys, unless the big buys part. Unless you're willing to take whatever happens. If you do a big purchase right here, there is a good chance if you just wait, you will eventually end up in profit. That is the truth. If you just wait, there probably was going to be a day where you're in profit. So if you do a big buy right now, you need to understand that you're going to put yourself through possible hell. You might do a big purchase right here, dry out all of your dry powder or get rid of all your dry powder. The next thing you know, we fall back down one more time, one more liquidation event before we get the breakout. If you can stomach this, do a big buy. Totally fine. But if you cannot stomach this, bad idea. One way or another, no big leverage. No big leverage. I think it's a very bad idea. I think it's a very bad idea. Because you may say, well, Tyler, I'm just going to open up a 100x leverage, open up a 100x long leverage trade right now. And, well, if I'm wrong, and I lose. My question that I pose to you is, why not just wait? Why not just wait? Why not open that leverage trade right here? Why not open it a little bit higher? Sure, you're going to miss out on some gains. But why not open it whenever we don't have as much resistance directly above us? You have a much higher likelihood of gains and a much lower point of risk. Better risk versus reward equals better opportunity. So why not open it there? No high leverage, no big buys unless you have a good stomach, and no big sells. For some reason, I don't know why you'd be selling right now, unless you're taking profit. If you want to go in and you want to take some profit off the table, hell, I don't blame you. I'm literally debating, like I've the whole entire stream in the back of my head. I'm debating whether or not I want to tell my team to go take profits off of those purchases we did yesterday. Or no, it couldn't have been yesterday. When was that? 2 days ago. Because like I said, we bought things like Bitcoin at 90K. So 90.6 thousand. So if we go look at this, I mean, 90.6 thousand, like those Bitcoin purchases that we did, they're up 9%. Getting a 9% gainer on Bitcoin is kind of hard these days. You know what I mean? You go look at something like, let's see if there's any good ones in here. Solana at 175. How's Solana performing right now? Solana's okay. I mean, what we can see here, we bought Solana at 175. Solana's now up, 10%. So I'm debating whether or not I want to take profits off those. I don't know. Like my whole thing is like the purchases weren't big. I think I told the school this. I feel like somewhere in here, I don't want to read the entire thing, but I feel like somewhere in here I told them these aren't huge purchases, but they weren't huge purchases. So I'm in a spot right now where I'm like, was it even big enough to want to take profits? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So I might just leave these open if they were bigger dollar cost averages that I did, because SWE was a medium-sized one. So I did a medium-sized DCA on SWE at 435. SWE sat at 477. So SWE is pushed up. Damn, we call SWE like right by the bottom. SWE is up about 10%. So team, actually, let's go in. Let's take a little bit of profit off of the SWE trade. Let's take a little bit of profit off the SWE purchase. It's not a trade, it's a spot buy. Like 10-15% of the profit off of that one. Just kind of lock it in just for funsies. Just because SWE is retesting bottom side of channel, which I'll talk about in a second here. But outside of that, I'm just going to leave these open. But again, there is a good piece of me that wants to take profit. There's like, maybe by the end of the stream, I'll change my mind. I just want to think about it a little bit more. But yeah, so outside of that, guys, I'm just not doing much. I need to see these freaking levels broken. I need to see it broken. It feels like it might. If we look at volume's ramping up. Not ramping up as much as I would hope. Now, it's not really ramping up like that great at all, but we have started setting some 4-hour higher highs here in volume. And I think this candle is not super old. And so because of that, obviously volume is picking up a little bit. That's a good sign. Overall, Bitcoin, Elliot's waves. One thing that I did mention earlier or yesterday on the stream is that we did seemingly create that C wave to the downside. We had our 5 up, boom, on the macro. We had that boom, A, B, C came in for the lower low. No overlap. We're looking good. Set in that C to the bottom side. Yeah, maybe we do start the trend here, guys. Maybe we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, start working our way out of here. But none of that's confirmed until we break resistance. And I need to just drill that into your brain. Just drill it into your brain. Stop making moves off of emotion. Make them off of facts. And fact of the matter is we've not done it yet. We're not confirmed yet. Okay? Let's get into chat. I want to answer a couple questions. Leave me a couple questions if you have any. And then we're going to transition into altcoins, talking about what's happening there. Good morning, everyone. Kirk coming in with the super chat. Thoughts on Cardano for a Trump pump? I don't believe in Trump pumps. I don't believe in shit, to be honest with you. Santa rallies, none of that. I think Cardano might pump as a result of Trump getting into office, because that it is good for the U.S. and U.S.-based cryptos will benefit from his administration. So yes, I do think that's the case. But just Trump pump, Don't believe in it. Stop falling for those narratives, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because when people put those narratives out there, it's literally just to make retail do things so they can go in the opposite direction. Shout out to you, Cody. I try my best, homie. Alrighty. Good time to buy and hold for more than 6 months. Agreed. What do you mean you don't believe in the Trump pump? I don't believe in the narrative, the name, the Santa Claus rally. Even if crypto would pump on Christmas, I don't call things Santa rallies, Trump pumps, Pumptober. I don't believe in any of those things. I believe in the reasons why they happen, but I don't like assigning these labels to things because it's just an easy trap. I've come to recognize that. These little short-term narratives, they're traps. That's all they are. I want to make a long with leverage on XRP. Do you have any entry points I can look to? I'm not leverage trading right now, so I'm not going to give you any long entry points. But I will tell you, I'll go over XRP in a second here. Can you give more info about the school? Yeah, absolutely. I'll go into the school a little bit deeper in a little bit here, but put very, very, very simply, because I want to save this for the end of the stream. What we do at the school is very simple. We take crypto investors, we give them courses, coaching classes, live streams, workshops, and more, help them generate their strategies and turn those strategies into gains. Don't just take it from me. Again, I'm going to tell you all about this, but if I just go to today's gains, you can see the amount of sheer gains that are being made here. We see hundreds of thousands of dollars in gains being printed here every single day. And again, I'm going to tell you about that later on. The link is in the description down below if you want to go read about it. This is where I basically, like, for example, I told them about all those purchases I was doing that are now up 9 or 10%, but I'm going to tell you all about that later in the stream. If anybody is in the school, let people in the chat know how you feel about it. I've not deleted any videos. That is just objectively not true. I don't delete videos. You can go check. Will you be online during market open? I don't know. How far do we have? I can't remember. All right, baby. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's talk about altcoins. I know that's what you guys want to see. Let's talk about altcoins. Let's get into it and see how things are going. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I post 1 or 2 videos every single day, and I want to go live 3 or 4 times a week. So if you enjoy it, give us a like. Okay, let's start over on Crypto Bubbles. How we got? I'm sure it's looking good. Okay, what's cracking? Let's see, baby. So we have AI16s moving on up. We love to see it. I actually did a purchase on AI16s. Let me look. I'm gonna just show you guys the school at this point. I don't care. I want to see when I bought some AI16s. I can't remember. It's gonna say something like I'm taking a little bit of a gamble. I might have passed it already. Give me 1 second. If I can't find it soon, I'll just stop looking. But I bought some AI16s and I can't remember what my entry price was. So I want to go see. If anybody in the school remembers what Dad posted that would be great. Nah, it must have been a little bit more recent. Let's see. Give me a sec. I just want to check in on AI16s and I want to check in on virtuals. I kind of want to see what's happening from with those ones. Okay, here we go. Entry price was $1.15 on AI16s. AI16s is currently sat at $1.45. Looking good, baby. Let's kind of check in on that real quick. Let's see. I don't know why it always removes it. It's so irritating. See, like, for example, it won't do it. I have no idea why. Let's just go this way. Oh, not you. There we go. AI16s. Alrighty. So my entry on AI16s was $1.15. We are up on that purchase roughly 25%. Looking great. We love to see it. I told the school my reasoning. So with AI16s, I said throughout December, I was super busy and wasn't paying much attention to the AI agent world and completely missed this one. And I told myself that if it gave me the opportunity, I would buy some on the first big dip that I saw now that I understand its actual use case and value. Fast forward to today, its price is down 50%, and we're seeing a couple indications that some sort of relief could be on the way. The RSI on the 4 hour showing bullish divergence. RSI on the 1 day is lower than it's ever been, and the possible 5th wave is still valid in structure. So I was talking about the possible push up towards 260. As a result of this, I mentioned earlier, I think it's a solid gamble if this is a dip before the rip. So I added it to my AI bag. I bought in at $1.15, as you can see here. No lies being told. So again, since then, we did see its price give us that push towards the upside. There is still valid structure here, if I do remember, on the dailies. to say that we could still get that fifth wave upwards, which is still a good sign, right? So because of that, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing here from AI16s. Very happy with it. Not going to take any profits off the table quite yet. I'm pretty set that I think that some sort of relief on AI16s could be up towards $1.99 to 217. Hit something like your golden zone or something like that. So I think for AI16s, although my gut wants to take a little profit just because I'm up 25%, I'm just leave it. I'm just leave it and just kind of see what happens. Just because we still do have so much more room to say golden zone and stuff like that. Bollinger Bands, 20 simple moving average here on the dailies. What are we looking like? Yeah, we haven't even surpassed that 20 SMA. So sure, we might get rejected off of it and need to build, but I think there's a fair chance to say we're going to push up towards maybe $2 or something like that if the market does continue to rally. So I'm gonna just go for it. Maybe I'll regret it a little bit if we do pull back here, but oh well. I'll just kind of see what happens. Wasn't a huge purchase. We did just get confirmed bullish divergence here on the dailies on the RSI. RSI is still right around that 51% threshold. I'm gonna just leave it open and kind of just see what happens. Shout out to Charles with the £5 donation. Says, has the bull run finally started now? Can you check Tima? VC Capital confirmed they're investing $2 million. Tima super bullish. That does sound super bullish. Maybe we'll get to it if we hit a second, but I think the bull run has been started. I've said this a long time ago. The bull run started in 2023. Shout out to you guys, everybody who is shouting out the school. All the information about the school is down below if you want to check it out. Hex pushing up today. XDC pushing up today. Anything else? Ooh, look at XRP. Crushing it. I don't remember the last purchase I made on XRP. I think it was like on the 10th or the 11th. And I'm actually going to get into its charts in a second here. I'm just kind of catching up myself. I bought some XRP at $2.25. XRP currently sat at $2.88. That push is looking real nice. Let's see here. Let's go to XRP, wherever I moved it to. What was that entry? What did I say? 225 on the entry there. Currently speaking, we are now up since then. Yeah, it was this pullback right here, very bottom. Currently up 25% on that XRP purchase. Absolutely ripping. We're going to get into the technical analysis of XRP in a second here. Just catching up. Algo, LDO looking good. XLM also looking good. This is one that I bought the other day as well. I think we bought some of this on the 13th. Remind me from wrong school. XLM we bought at 0.40. This bad boy is currently at 0.47. What is that? Like 12% gainer there. 0.40 on that push downwards. Yeah, about 19% gainer there. Looking good. Okay, so the crypto market's looking good. Nothing is really lagging behind from what I can tell. We are now also positive on the week for a lot of these different cryptos. Still in recovery for like 16s, Rune, With, and a couple more. And then on the month, obviously, we can see here that things are still in recovery mode. But the day and the hour obviously looking pretty good. I would assume being led mostly by your top ones. Let's go to coinmarketcap.com. Let's see. Bitcoin obviously pushing up well. Nothing lagging behind here in the top 10. Cardano looking good. AVAX looking good. Stellar looking good. We saw that push up from Stellar and it looks like it just surpassed SUI, which is pretty interesting, which doesn't make much sense actually because it's a lower market cap. But anyway, okay, looking good. All right, let's get into some technical analysis then. Since we understand what's going on in the market, things are looking pretty sweet. What we're going to do is we're going to start out with total 2. Let's see here. So total 2 is almost broken out. That is one thing that we can see. As you see here, I have been tracking this descending channel for total 2 for about 3 weeks or so. I told you all rather frequently. I don't know why it's, let me see something real quick. I think I accidentally must have hit it because it's not aligned. There we go. Okay. So what we can see here, I had it on this one because we had the fake out. Oh, I hate when this happens. Here we go. It was your first 2 points of resistance right there. Boom. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what shifted it. This is very odd. The lizard people, man, I'll tell you. All right. Here we go. Okay, so what we can see here, total 2. We did get the fake out about a week ago. We came all the way back down, retested that 50% threshold right here. We saw total 2, which is simply, guys, just the total market cap of altcoins, bounce off that 50% threshold, come back down, retest it again, hold it again, now pushing up towards the upside. There is going to be a good bit of resistance sitting directly above us. As you can see here, right, the golden zone is now right above us. The descending level of resistance is right above us. But we are about to see if altcoins can make this push. Like, this is really going to determine whether or not the altcoin market is going to open back up and start trying to make some upwards moves again, and we need to watch it closely. Now, obviously, breaking here for total 2 isn't like Okay. Sorry, I was just checking. I thought somebody said the audio was off. Um, yeah, this isn't like the moment, right? If we see a breakout here for total two, it doesn't mean that everything is about to just absolutely send it because you have to think, right? Like, even if we break this one, there is still topside golden zone. For example, we still have to clear 1.48 trillion and 1.55 trillion. We still need to break this golden zone of resistance. We still need to break this resistance zone and this resistance zone. We still need to set the higher high. There's still a lot that needs to happen. Very similarly to total one over here. There's still a lot that needs to happen, but we are seeing some great steps in the right direction, which is a good sign, especially if you were doing some purchasing when we were, on the 13th, back on the 11th and the 8th and the 9th, right? If you were doing some purchasing back up here, that's actually a very good sign that we may actually see those purchases really start playing out very well. But obviously, there's just a lot of room to go. And so that's why I want you guys to remember, even on a day like today where you see everything pumping, it's so easy for you to feel like, oh, I need to get in right now in this moment. Like, oh, I'm missing the train. Like, oh, the market's going without me. All these things. No, it's not, dude. No, it's not. Stop letting crypto Twitter corrupt your brain. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere without you. We've made a small move to the upside here, possibly some sort of close-based double bottom in a sense that all of our closes have happened right around the same level. We haven't even surpassed that previous high yet. We haven't even set a new higher high yet. That's how little this pump has actually been. So don't feel like you're behind. You want to start doing some small DCAs here, do some small DCAs here, ladder into the breakout and let it play out. Because again, there is still a chance we do see this market pull back, erase today's excitement, and then that's just what happens. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to be super honest with you guys. I don't think that's what's going to happen because to me, now that we are seeing some of the inflationary fears or the inflation-based fears subsiding a little bit, it would be weird for this market to come back down to the same levels it was at when it had the inflation worries. And knowing that Trump's inauguration and all the stuff with Gary Gensler is on the way, it would be weird for this market to pull back here. But you guys know I don't put anything past the lizard people. I don't put anything past this market manipulation. I think everyone has that same mindset. So people are going to be opening up these huge leverage trades. And there is still a chance that we do come back down and liquidate those people before ripping back to the upside and actually allowing this market to go. So although I don't think this is going to happen, I know that it's a possibility. So I am still being a little bit cautious while we are still within this channel. But again, we still have a lot of room to go. There's still a lot of things that need to happen. And so although you might feel that FOMO today, you shouldn't, in my opinion, because we do still have a lot of upward progress that needs to be made. It looks like it is very possible. No, when I look at my RSI, for example, we did get the bullish divergence. We have all of these things, not really bullish divergence, but it is just a strong move here from the RSI. We bounced off of that 40% threshold right here, currently clearing that 50% threshold, opening up all this room. We're not seeing that daily RSI for total two running too fast. It is actually pretty much in line. It's equidistant on the price and the RSI itself. All of these things just simply meaning that there is room to the upside and a means to get there, meaning it is very possible that we do finally start seeing this market get out of this stupid phase that we've been in for the last month and a half or so. So very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. I actually like it. I like what we're saying right now. Like I said, you want to do some small DCAs, do them. But just move a little slow. Looking at the total three chart, this is a little bit of a different story. Very good stuff happening here. What we can see here is that total three, which is the total market cap of altcoins without Ethereum, it's actually now successfully rebroken out. This is more of a back test, although it is more of it's not really a fundamental back test because we did fail to hold support here. What you can see is that we saw total three break out, run into the golden Fibonacci zone, come back down, reestablish support, get this closed base double bottom, as you can see here. And now we're trying to see total three use this to work itself upwards. I guess there is a threat of a head and shoulders pattern in here. I'm not really concerned about that, to be honest. I'm not even remotely worried about it. Sure, it may play out, and if it does, we'll just kind of deal with that another day. But it is very often that you will see some sort of possible head and shoulders forming when you are trying to form some sort of more micro, you can call it an Adam and Eve, you can call it a cup and handle, you can call it a double bottom. I don't care. That is something that does normally fool. It's a trap for bears. Bears are going to see this and they're going to say, oh, that's a head and shoulders. Let me short this. And then the market pushes upwards and validates that head and shoulders. And then it never plays out, but it's just an easy liquidation level. So I feel like that's probably a trap, but I'll keep an eye on it and just let you know if anything does transpire there. But overall, the goal and the mission for total three remains the same. We need to clear the golden zone, just like we needed to right here. We need to right here, because until we clear this, we are not going absolutely anywhere. The altcoin market is not going anywhere until we clear those levels. And I hope you're starting to kind of catch the drift, right? Yeah, it's great news. Yeah, things are good, but we're not in a spot in the market where everything's just taking off. There's not real FOMO. Sure, people are greedy, but this isn't euphoria, nothing like that. This market has a lot of room to run. We've seen an absolute butt whooping over the last month. So right now, you're going to feel that FOMO. You're going to see these crypto morons on Twitter saying that 100x gains are on the way and all of this stuff. We've not really gone anywhere. And this is a good thing. It means that the market is maturing. It's not rallying too hard. It's not dropping too hard. Liquidations are building, but they're not stupidly, irrationally high, anything like that. We are seeing good signs, and that's it. We're seeing good signs, and that's it. Very good stuff there. Very, very good stuff. All righty. Let's see. So let's get into it. Quick check on Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 99K, still stuck within our descending wedge and, of course, our Fibonacci golden zone. Let's jump into ETH. So ETH has now recovered. ETH is absolutely trying its best right now. Look, let me clear charts off a little bit for you to make it a bit of a clearer picture. ETH was, of course, in this, what many people consider to be a bullish pennant. I was a little skeptical of it, and I'm glad I was, honestly. What we can see here, though, is that it has seemingly recovered here. I would actually still say that Ethereum is a good purchase right now. If I was going to dollar cost average on anything, ETH would be one of the ones, because it did just recover a major level of support, and it gave us a fake out to the downside. We had this structure, gave us a fake out to the downside. There's reason to believe that ETH might try to make that move upwards here. It might try to. I'm not saying it's gonna, but I think there's, a 50-60% chance that ETH tries to make that move, and I think that's pretty good odds. So ETH is looking pretty good. It is lagging a little bit today. We're seeing the alt versus ETH, Bitcoin versus ETH charts dumping still. So we are seeing Ethereum underperforming the market, and the fact that it did just recover this key level of resistance, it was support, flipped resistance, obviously. I think ETH is a good purchase right now. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to purchase it, like I mentioned before, and I'm not showing you guys this to flex. I don't care if you think I'm good at this crypto thing. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm just showing you the reason as to why I'm not doing things, and it's because I was picking some up at 3,040, which was back down here in the fake out, like right there. So buying right now, it just feels a little bit more risky to me, but I do think that ETH is a good buy right now. You look at the RSI holding up very well. Curious to see what our Elliots are showing us. On the dailies, does show that we very well may have completed that C wave and then move downwards. On the 4 hour, we also did seemingly complete that C wave on the shorter time frames, meaning that we definitely might start trying to make those 5 waves upwards here. No guarantee, but obviously just a good point of confluence to show that ETH might have that potential to start working its way upwards. 4 hour not overbought yet. Daily's not overbought yet at all. I would say things are looking pretty dang on good here for ETH. Bollinger Bands on the dailies. We haven't even broken that 20 simple moving average yet. So I like what I'm seeing here from ETH. Going to be a bumpy ride, obviously, but I do like what I'm seeing here. One could say that this is a descending wedge. And I wouldn't disagree with them. This is a very steep descending wedge. And if that is the case, that it makes it even more likely that we do see ETH give us some sort of breakout here. So I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing from ETH. About 50%. We're about roughly at the 50% threshold of this descending wedge. If that is the case, just broke above it ish. So because of that, tiny purchases here, not a bad idea. I like ETH. I like what we're seeing here. All righty. Okay, just making sure there's no spam or anything too crazy going on. All right, we're looking good. Let's get into Solana. So what we can see here is Solana. Man, you know what? Let me double check something real quick. Oh, that would be why. So I kind of did butcher my my total 2 channel, didn't I? No, not terribly. I'm on a new computer, so I forgot to set this on the logarithmic scale. That's why my charts were off a little bit. But what we can see here is Solana's trying to get the breakout, guys. Trying to get that breakout. I mean, obviously a lot of things need to happen still. We need to see Solana break through the descending channel. We need to see it work its way up and break above 220. But these could be early days, right? This could be an early sign that some sort of move for Solana could be on the way. I would say reasonably that if we do get a real bullish push, right? If we see this market really give us a rally, Solana's price starts working its way up, breaks 220 to 240, right? Works its way up. Maybe we have it's ugly, so I'm not going to call it one, but we do have some sort of bullish structure forming here, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and call it. This wick kind of throws things off a little bit. But if we can see this bullish structure validated and we are able to get that push, I think Solana pushing up towards, $299, $349 makes a ton of sense. Whenever your psychological levels are in alignment with your breakout targets, it makes sense, right? So when your Fibonacci levels are 300 and 350, oftentimes that alignment happens for a reason. You know what I mean? It happens for a reason. And so because of that, I actually still think Solana is a decent purchase. I wouldn't be buying a lot. Again, I was buying a little bit more around like 175 or so. I wouldn't be buying a lot right now because we still do need to see the breakout and we still need to see clearing of major resistance levels. But at the end of the day, it does feel like Solana is at some sort of bottom of a move. And I think purchases on Solana sub $200 are always a good thing. So I actually think Solana is in a decent spot. I'm not buying, but I think that it's a decent spot to be buying in general. I will say that. Looking at Sui, old Sui, man, Sui's giving me a run for my money here. Sui is giving us a run for my money, baby. If we look at Sui is currently recovering up back within this ascending channel. You guys know I don't like ascending channels. They spook me. They scare me a little bit. I don't like them in the slightest. Oftentimes, ascending channels of this nature will break to the downside. It's just what they do. And I don't think Sui is any different. I think eventually Sui is going to sustainably lose this level of support. Whether or not that happens now, I have no idea. Maybe it runs all the way up again. Maybe it gives us another push and then it comes back down. Maybe it follows this channel for a while, right? Maybe it just follows this channel for a while before we do enter into a bear market. Maybe one push and then boom, whatever. But these things do continue to spook me. My strategy for these ascending channels remain the same. Anytime that we're in this top 75%, I will take profits off the table. It's just what I do. I took profit right here. I took profit right here. I reinvested back in here. And I'll probably continue to do the same. If we see Sui's price push back upward towards, $6, $7, I'll take some more profits off the top. That's just what I'm going to do. Every time we hit the top 50, 75% of this channel, I'm going to be taking profits. I'll be buying anytime we see it fall below the channel. Very simple, very easy for Sui. I would not be doing any major purchases. I can't justify it. I literally just can't justify it. I don't think I've ever told someone that I would be doing big purchases within an ascending channel. If I was going to do a big purchase, though, what I would do is I would set my stop loss adjustably below this ascending level of support. So, for example, if you bought Sui right now while it's re-entering back into this channel, having your stop losses set somewhere, maybe you can go ahead and you can just draw in an equidistant line, like a parallel line. Boom. You could probably do something like this and take, a little bit of distance. Let's get away from those wicks. Let's go like right here and say if it falls out of this green box, that's what I'm gonna put my stop loss in, because at some point, again, I think it's gonna capitulate out of here. It's just what it's gonna have to do. The ascending levels of support are almost impossible to maintain over a sustained period of time. So to me, yeah, I'm not selling my Sui. Don't get me wrong. I still have 90% of my Sui position that I opened because I do think Sui is gonna run to $10 plus, but at some point it's gonna lose this support. And so because of that, I just have to constantly protect myself from it. So yeah, setting some sort of stop losses below these wicks, I think makes sense. And if you wanted to be doing some purchases in here, personally, I'm fine. I was purchasing Sui right around these levels. I really started picking up right around $1.35, somewhere right in these little levels in here. So because of that, I'm happy with my bag of Sui. I don't really feel the need to be buying much more. Maybe little DCAs when we do lose key major levels of support like this. But outside of that, I'm happy with my Sui bag. So I'm not doing any big dollar cost averages or anything right now. All right. Okay, just double checking. Everything good? Yep, we're all good. Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, XLM. XLM's going for it, baby. XLM is going for it. We love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. What we can see here is that XLM is currently trying to give us a breakout of this channel here. I'm trying to get this, trying to see if I can grab that. Might not let me, but it's fine. What we can see here is that we were in the descending channel for XLM. We were doing some purchasing. I would be willing to bet that on like December 31st. I can't remember all the purchases that I do, but let me go see. I'd be willing to bet that we picked up a little XLM there at around that bottom. What are you? January 2nd. Yep. So we bought a little XLM at 35.7 cents, which was right here. We bought a little bit of XLM. That was the last big purchase I did, was right here. Pick some XLM up right there. That bad boy is absolutely pushed upwards out of the green box, cleared the 50, cleared the 75, cleared the $100 level or the 100% level. And now we are seeing XLM trying to make this run for the upside. What I want to see from XLM is the ability to clear 48.5. I'd almost be willing to say just let it break 50 because 50 is a psychological level. So if XLM's price can break that 50 threshold, that 50 cent threshold, I think we're going to be in a good spot. I think there is a possibility that some sort of inverse head and shoulders actually formed, that little ugly, janky inverse head and shoulders formed, and that could possibly open up the door for XLM to try to push up towards, 70, 75 cents or so. So looking very good for XLM. I would actually say doing some small purchases on XLM once we do get some more closes outside of this channel isn't a bad idea. Buying on a breakout of this nature isn't a bad idea. Do be aware there is a good chance that it does consolidate, back test, go sideways for a little while, right? All of these things are possible because this is a strong level of resistance. But in the grand scheme of things, if you want to buy XLM so bad, like you can't help yourself, now's not a terrible time just because we have broken out of this descending channel. But obviously the best time is to buy at the bottom of the descending channel. There are a couple levels of resistance above us. Micro golden zone, macro golden zone, the 50 cent threshold. All of these things are going to be very, very key levels of resistance. So we're not just going to easily send it through it, I don't think. So just be aware that any purchases right now are kind of subject to getting pulled back a good bit and going into the red. But I do think in general, XLM is trying to prepare itself for some sort of move upwards. So a very good sign there from XLM. Going into ADA, ADA is obviously in a very similar situation. What we can see is that ADA is trying to form some sort of bullish structure. ADA was in this descending channel. We were picking up some ADA while it was in the bottom side of this descending channel. It got the breakout, ran into the golden zone, got rejected, and came back down to that bottom side Fibonacci zone, as you can see here. We came to the bottom side golden Fibonacci zone. We're trying to use the double bottom on this golden zone that you can see on the 1 hour. Look at this. You see what I'm talking about here. We're trying to use this double bottom to push our way upwards. We have now set a bit of a higher high on the micro sense. So all I really want to see from ADA at this point is just clear this golden zone. If ADA can clear this zone between $1.07 to $1.18, it very much does so open up the opportunity for ADA to push $1.55 to $1.87, somewhere towards these upper levels. And I think that's very possible. So ADA could be cooking up some sort of new yearly high, but we just obviously need to see this golden zone broken first. It clearly is a major level of resistance. 4 key establishments of resistance right here, macro resistance in general. So it's not going to be easy, but this is what I'm watching, right? I'm not buying ADA right now. I was buying in the bottom of the descending channel. And I did do a dollar cost average back here on the 13th, as I showed you. Right here somewhere. It was on the 13th again, 11th, 12th, 13th. I did buy a little bit of ADA for the last time right there, around 90 cents. It was when we were getting this back test. So for now, I'm just going to leave my bag of ADA alone, and I'm going to see whether or not we can clear this golden zone or not. That's the next target. That's what we want to see. Do you guys see how the majority of these cryptos we're talking about, the goal that we have for them is to clear a key point of resistance? It makes sense now, right? Because remember when I told you on Total 2, we were looking to see Total 2 break out of this resistance? Now does it make sense? Because Total 2 isn't its own entity. Total 2 is an accumulation of a bunch of other entities. And if all those other entities are making similar moves, it's going to make Total 2 a reflection of that. So instead of watching ADA and XRP and XLM and all these, or not XRP, but ADA, XLM and all these other ones and ETH and whatever, you can just watch Total 2, because Total 2 is going to tell you when the majority of them are finally breaking out of these golden zones, breaking these descending levels. So it kind of aligns well. And I'm sure you can start to see that. Going into H-bar is in a very similar spot to XLM. Again, I'm not going to be in here doing, any major purchases, but doing a small buy now that it has broken out of this descending channel isn't a terrible idea. A lot of resistance above us. We still need to see the 33 cent level broken, or about 33.5 cent level broken. We still need to see the golden zone around 35.15 cents broken. We still need to see all these things happen. But once H-bar does really try to make this move, I think it's going to open that door to around 54 to 45 cents, which still could be a beautiful move here of another 45 to 70% under the right circumstances. Okay. Under the right circumstances, not guaranteed, but under the right circumstances. I think, H-bar giving us some sort of move like that is very possible, which is great because again, we were doing some purchases, in all these little downside moves here. Looking at XRP next, what we can see is XRP did give us that breakout. I didn't buy any XRP on the 13th. I kind of wish I would have. The reason I didn't buy it was just because, to me, it had already started that breakout, and I just wasn't very confident. The last purchase, like I said, that I did on XRP was at $2.25, which was right down here. I feel like it was, it was right down here, right before this move did actually start. If we do look at our 4-hour Elliott's waves, what you can see is that the reason why I was doing some purchasing here, my reasoning was that I still thought that we could still see some sort of fifth wave upwards towards $3 or $3.75. XRP has now almost completed that fifth wave, that shorter, more conservative fifth wave up towards $3.05. So overall, the reasoning that we did purchase it here has actually held up pretty damn well, and I am liking it. So because of that, obviously, I'm not buying any XRP right now. I don't really see the point in that. I am noticing that we are seeing momentum slowly die off here on the 4-hour RSI. On the daily RSI, we're also pushing already back up towards the overbought zone, and that's fine. I mean, like, for example, we got to the overbought zone way back here before this entire move happens. So it doesn't mean that we're going to see it just absolutely dump. No, we're just getting started. But quite frankly, I just think there are better buying opportunities in the market because XRP is kind of leading the charge right now. So I'm just kind of letting these profits cook. Maybe you'll take a little bit of profits if we do push all the way back up towards 340. But for now, XRP does have a lot of good things going for it. And I think that there's a good reason to believe, especially now that we've broken the golden zone, that XRP is going to try to give us a move $3.26, possibly even as high as $3.78, especially under the right conditions. And I keep saying that over and over again because we need to see total 2 break. We need to see Bitcoin break the HMZ. We need to see all of these things happen, and then we'll have the right conditions. And under those conditions, yeah, I think XRP trying to make a move up to these levels, I think it makes some sense. Pepe, what you up to? Pepe's not really doing much, not moving that great, honestly. It's not meme coin season, it doesn't seem, because, I mean, if you look at Shib's also doing the same thing. I would consider rotating some profits from your ones that are pumping today into some of your more meme coins. It's not time for meme coins yet. It's not their portion of the liquidity cycle, and that's actually a good thing. So what I would say for both Pepe and Shib, I think now is actually not a bad time to be accumulating. I think picking some up while it is trying to build up this key level of support here and this key level of support here isn't a bad idea at all, because I do expect some liquidity to rotate from things like XRP into things like Pepe, into things like Shib. So I would be looking to pick up some Shib and Pepe today. And what I will say, screw it, team, what I want you to do, okay, this is what we're going to do. Because if you guys don't know, I have a team of 2 people who watch my streams. And when I tell them to buy things, they buy things. They have access to my wallets, all that stuff. What I want to do, team, let's go in, let's rotate, let's take a little profit off the XRP purchase that we did a couple days ago. Let's take a little bit of profit off of the Bitcoin purchase that we did. And let's take a little bit of profit off that. Now I'm going to leave that one. Let's take a little profit off of those 2. Let's 10 or 15% profit from those purchases, just the last 2 purchases. We're going to take that profit. We're going to rotate some into Pepe, some into Shib. Not a lot, because it is a bit of a gamble. I don't like rotating that heavy. But I am just kind of curious to see what happens. So let's rotate a little bit from our L1s and Bitcoin into some of our memes and just kind of see how it plays out. And let's leave that AI16's purchase alone. I know that one's up 25%. I'm just going to leave it alone. I wanted to see what happens. All right, let's do that. That's the game plan. Jasmine still down on the day. Not performing well. Not performing well. I'm not going to lie. I need to see Jasmine give me some signs of life. Maybe not a terrible time to do a little bit of purchasing, but it is just a little bit concerning at this point. It is a little bit concerning at this point. The fact that it's just not performing well, it's not getting that attention that you would hope it would. Yeah, I'm not going to purchase this one. I want to see some signs of life. I'm not going to lie. Caspa doing okay. What we can see here, let's see. Holding up well. I'll give it to Caspa. Okay, that's a good sign. So what we can see here, we had a couple fake outs, a couple wicks. Didn't lose the golden zone though. Holding the golden zone well. Set the new micro higher high there. What I want to see from Caspa is whether or not its price can come back up and break the 16.8 cent level. If we can break that level, I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. I don't remember if I bought any of this or not. I bought a little bit at 11.5 cents on Caspa. We are currently up since then. 11.5 cents was right here. On Caspa, we're currently up roughly 18% on that purchase. Very good. Very happy with that. Looking for that golden zone break to the top side, though. Not too excited. Obviously, the double bottom could be in play. Double bottom gets us up right around 15.5 cents. So let's see if Caspa can break that golden zone, because if so, I think it's reasonable to assume we could see a mid 20-cent push somewhere up here. So very good. All right. Let's see. Someone told me to look at Bonk, I think. What is this? This is Brett. Brett not showing us any signs of life right now. Bonk also not showing us many signs of life right now. But again, I do think the rotation into memes is a good idea. So team, let's just take a tiny 1% of some of those profits as well. Just throw it at Bonk as well. Let's just see what happens. And throw some at Brett too. Who cares? Screw it. Let's just throw some at Brett as well. Bonk, Brett. I would assume Doge is in the same spot. Doge is a little bit different. We are still in the golden zone here, but Doge is putting up a hell of a fight. It did break to the downside of that ascending channel. Like I told you guys, it probably would. Doge is still within its own descending channel. Let's throw a little bit at Doge as well. Let's just rotate. Let's full rotate into a lot of our memes. Doge, Brett, Bonk, whatever. You guys know what I want. SHIB, Pepe, those ones. ICP. ICP is kind of lagging today, not performing as you would hope. What I would be looking for ICP is to break that structure, right? Can we get the trend break here? Can we break this descending trend line, obviously, and then break this previous high here? Can we actually start reversing this trend? If so, I'll kind of take another look at ICP. But for now, it's still back testing. Not a terrible time to accumulate. I'm not going to lie. We do have a major zone of support right here. We have a major zone of support that we're maintaining right now. We do have bullish structure. So, this descending channel is bullish structure. So there very well may be some sort of move upwards. Not a bad time to buy ICP. Not a bad time to buy ICP at all. I'm not going to, but not a bad time to buy it. All right, I need to take a little bit of a break from talking. I feel like I've been talking for an hour. Yeah, I've been an hour and 9 minutes straight. But I kind of want to take a look at a few of these other ones. TARS AI is actually putting in some very bullish structure here. Looking very good. Getting a breakout for TARS AI wouldn't shock me at all. Descending structure came back down towards that 36% threshold on the RSI, back testing that previous all-time high back here, as you can see, holding support well. TARS AI is looking strong. I think some sort of breakout for TARS AI seems likely. Very good stuff. Very happy with what I'm seeing there. What about Pinlink? Do I have Pinlink on here? Can I get that? Let's see. What's Pinlink up to? I like my AI narrative. Pinlink obviously kind of just consolidating. This must be a new exchange. Hold on, let me see. What's Pinlink up to? MEXC, are you a better chart? I usually look at it. No, it's not a better chart. I'll find that one. No worries. Okay. Render. I see someone said a Render. Render still holding up support. I mean, it's holding strong. Don't get me wrong. It's just not giving me those signs of life that I'd be looking for. You know what I mean? It's just not making that move yet. Not bad though, but what I am a little bit concerned about is the fact that obviously Render just has so much resistance above it, right? It has this golden zone, it has the descending channel, it has that previous high, it has all that stuff, and it's not even started making progress towards breaking these. So I would be a little bit cautious with Render right now. Doing some small purchases right now is not a bad idea, but when everything is rallying, but a few cryptos aren't, it usually gives some sort of meaning. Because this isn't popcorn season. We're not in popcorn season where some stuff is rallying and some stuff isn't. Most things are rallying right now. So if yours is not, it's not the best sign ever. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Chainlink. I saw somebody spamming Chainlink, which please don't spam. Much appreciated, everyone. Chainlink's actually looking okay. Again, it's just another one where it's like there's so much progress that needs to be made to where like it's not a bad time to be purchasing, but I just wouldn't be doing huge buys until it shows us some signs of life. Actually, I'm not going to pretend like Chainlink is looking pretty good to me, right? We came off the top side of this golden zone, but we did push up in it. We came back down. We created the descending channel. We are seeing that full reset here on the RSI sub 50. We're seeing Bollinger Bands fully reset. Yep, we're looking good. Elliot's wave theory does show us that we could have just completed that micro 6 wave to the downside to repeat some sort of move upwards. So yeah, I mean, overall, although I'm not super confident, I definitely think that some sort of a, RS flip could be underway here, and Chainlink might try to give us some life. So be on the lookout for Chainlink to start trying to break out of the structure. Because at that point, that could be confirmation that some sort of more macro move upwards could be on the way, in which we see Chainlink in pursuit of, $47, $38, something like that. So Chainlink, not bad, not great, somewhere in the middle, but I do like the setup here. Virtuals. I see people wanting to see virtuals. Let's see what that bad boy's up to. Let's see what that chart looks like. Virtual's looking decent. Not gonna lie. Curious to see what our waves are showing here on the 4-hour. Anything? Let's see. Looks decent. Depending on how you draw them in. Obviously, it looks like we maybe had that first wave. Good. Second wave repeat. Third wave, more macro wave. Very good. Biggest wave so far. Fourth wave downside, full of an ABC, obviously a 1, 2, 3, which is a bit of an ugly ABC, but it is good because obviously we had more of a steep 2 correction there. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think virtuals could be on route. It looks like it is trying to start to break market structure at this point, which is a good sign. Obviously, there's still a lot in front of virtuals that needs to happen. I would say the biggest, most obvious thing is it needs to break that golden zone. But overall, it does look actually pretty decent. It is trying to clear, obviously, that previous point of resistance back here, running into a little bit of support right now as well. But virtuals actually is looking decent. It feels like this was the good correction, the good pullback it needed. I would assume that's like 60% or something. Yeah, 58% pullback there. I would say virtuals isn't a terrible time. It's not a terrible time to buy a little bit. Obviously, not sure just how far it's going to run because it did have its moment. It did have that big pop moment. But a push up towards, if this market really does start to rally, if the AI space does start to pop again, seeing it push anywhere from $6 to $9 isn't impossible. And considering it's still at about $3.45, yeah, I would say it's reason to believe that purchasing a little bit now isn't a bad idea. Obviously, buying anywhere in here would have been better. Buying on the top of a green candle is sketchy, especially a 16% green candle. But if you do just zoom this bad boy out, there is still a lot of room that needs to be covered. And we still do have the room for it. So not a terrible time, but I definitely would be aping into virtuals on a 16% candle. I don't think that makes a ton of sense. Alrighty. Yes, CPI did come out looking good. Okay, guys. Well, look, we are about an hour and 12 minutes in. I want to kind of take a break from the TA. I do still have another full video coming out for you guys in later today, so do stay tuned for that. I want to open up the chat for a Q&A. I want to answer some questions for you, so let me know if there's anything you want to know, any questions that you have, and much more. And while you are asking those questions, I do need to plug a couple things. I will tell you first and foremost, I do try to post 5, 6, 7 times on Twitter every single day. We had the team updating even while I was on stream, giving updates about CPI and what's happening, my videos, much more. We try to post 6 or 7 times every single day. My Twitter is at Tyler Crypto Talk, and it is linked down below if you do want to go check that out. Secondly, if you guys are doing a little bit of trading yourself, you can check out that BTCC link down in the description below. You're going to get a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means that if you deposit, say, $2,000, they're going to give you $200 to start trading with, and you can keep whatever profit you make from that $200, which is great opportunity there. And then lastly, I've showed it a bunch of times throughout this stream, but if you do want to check out our school, as I mentioned to you earlier, our school's mission is very simple. We take crypto investors like yourselves. We give you courses, coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, signals, research, Q&As, and much more to help you develop your strategy, because gains are generated off of strategies. And when I say gains, I'm talking real gains. Look just today, 65%, 200%, 1,000%. 400% there, 300% over. And again, this is just in the last couple hours, 800%, 200%, and much more. And the best part about it, as I mentioned before, is it does start as little as $5 a month. As you can see here, we have a couple options, $17 a month, $5 a month. There's a $100 a month option. That is the executive tier that is sold out right now. So feel free to go check that out down below. This is where I purchase all of the moves that I am making with my portfolio and much more. So feel free to go check that out. Now that the shilling is aside, let's open up the chat for a few questions. All right, what's up, everybody? What we got? The CPI did come out. Yep, showing good signs. All righty. Can you do near? We're not going to be doing any more technical analysis for the day. Just kind of getting a little bit tired. We've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes straight. But next stream, again, I want to do these 2 or 3, 4 times a week. We'll check out near and some of the other ones as well. All right. Yes, the CPI news out is already. You got to keep a close eye on those moons. Yeah, I know. That was a fun conversation. Do you think January 20th will be significant? From my POV, it isn't that much of a bullish influence. Everyone already knows about orange. No, I agree. I think it's just something that we're looking forward to, because we always need to be looking forward to something in this crypto market. It doesn't change really anything at all. The only thing that you have to consider, though, is that when Trump does get into office, he will very likely just start changing things, making moves. His administration will start making changes as well. And those things that he does should start to cause some influence on the market. It should start to cause things to happen. That's the bullishness behind it, not so much him just getting into office. Everyone knows he's going to get into office. Oh, no, it's all good, homie. Shout out to you, Braden. How's life for you going? It's going good. Life is great. Traveling a good bit this year. Obviously, my wedding is in 2 months. I got legally married about a month ago, but my wedding is in about 2 months or so. Bachelor's trip coming up. Bunch of travel coming up. Very happy. The school is going well. We're at over 1,100 members now. That's going well. Channel's performing great. So life is great. I hope the same for you guys. Someone said sold quite a bit of Jasmy a while ago and shot back up. Interesting. Biggest advice to achieve emotional intelligence in trading and avoid FOMO. The easiest way to develop emotional intelligence, and I'm not emotionally intelligent. I don't want to say that. That's weird. But the easiest way to make sure that you are avoiding using your emotions when trading is to set a strategy and stick to it. You do not break your strategy no matter what happens. If you do that, you don't even need to be emotionally intelligent. If FOMO doesn't exist, right? None of these emotional things exist if you have a strategy and you just stick to it. I know it's so simple, but that is what it is. Make a strategy, stick to it. Nothing else matters. How you feel, your emotions, it's irrelevant. You can have the worst emotional intelligence ever, but if you stick to your strategy, your emotions don't even come into play. Make a strategy and stick to it, and experience. More experience in this market will get you there. Just trust. What is your opinion on RWA, and do you have any predictions for it in 2025 with Trump entering office? I think it's just going to be another niche in crypto that does well. I don't think it's going to be the best thing ever, like some people think, but I think it'll do well. I honestly don't know. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'll let you know. As we get closer to it, there's so much stuff that's going to happen between now and then. I would just be giving you a guess, to be honest. I don't want to give you an uneducated guess. Are you going to let both YouTube and school know when you personally are starting leverage? Yes, I'll make a video here and everywhere. You guys will know when I start leverage trading again. And we're probably getting close, if I had to guess. If I had to guess. Shout out to you, Braden. Thank you so much. Much appreciated, homie. There may be some sort of sell the news event. I don't know. It's hard to tell. You know, like when people want to know if there's going to be a dip, I got no idea, guys. I'm not one of those YouTubers that if you are new here, I'm going to be super honest with you. My channel is a little weird. It's a lot different than the ones that you'll watch. I don't know. And I tell people this all the time. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. I think over the midterm and the long term, we're going to see the market go up. My conviction remains the same. You guys know I have what's called the TH index over on Twitter, and I'll update this whenever it changes. But as of now, the short term, I am still concerned. I am probably going to shift this to neutral or optimistic pretty soon here, but I'm just going to keep it concerned for now. Midterm, long term, I'm optimistic and stupidly bullish. And that's just that. I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. I'm not going to pretend like I do. I'm not just going to guess and hope that I'm right so I get more subscribers so I can tell you I told you so. No, I don't know. So I'm going to be honest with you there. You know what I mean? Any Subway other cars today? I go to Subway every day. Subway sponsor me. I'll be like the best sponsor you've ever had. Shout out to Subway. Are you going to let both YouTube? Yep, said that. F, Mary, kill Algo, Mary, Ada, F, Ondo. All right, don't FOMO ever. When you FOMO purchase, you regret. Agreed. I agree. If you're not in Tyler's, good luck. Shout out to you guys. Bull flag on sweet. Hey, Gojo, you got to stop. Gojo, you have to stop. You have to stop. I don't want to mute you, but you have to stop. You said Sui will have a little cool down, but in long term, is there better projects than Sui? It depends on your perspective. I think Sui is the 2021 version of Solana, or the 2024 version of the 20. You get what I'm saying. 2021 Solana is like 2025 Sui. But the problem is Sui's pretty big already, right? Sui's like 14, 15 billion in market cap. So yeah, it could have a 5x or a 6x in front of it still, but will it 10x? Will it 30x? Probably not. Not in this run, I don't think. Maybe a 10x in the most conservative situation, but that'd be difficult, right? So it just depends on what you mean by better. Ecosystemically, it's amazing. That's why, again, I think it's going to hit $10 or $15 at some point. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. Congratulations to your upcoming wedding. Is it feasible strategy to use the earnings of XRP when it reaches 3.7 to rotate to meme coins such as sheep? I wouldn't rotate all of them, but yeah, rotating some makes sense. What is your leisure? Leave me alone. How about that? How about you stop judging me? I like Subway. You're just a hater. My Subway order is gross. I'm not gonna. No, it's not gross. But if you judge me, I'm gonna just mute you. I'm joking. I'm not gonna mute you. But I get a foot long flatbread with turkey, pepperoni, pepper jack cheese, lettuce, and chipotle sauce. I don't know if that's good or not, but I think it tastes good. Leave me alone. If you're not in Tyler's classes, you should be. I highly recommend learning more in the last week than I have in the last 5 years. I've been in the space, worth every penny, everyone printing huge gains. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Mac. I did not pay him to say that. But if you want to let people know how you feel about the server, feel free. So the best thing is to hold even if we see 10% from that. Oh, absolutely. 100%. That's my opinion. Is gaming the most overrated rotation? No, I think gaming is kind of an underrated rotation. I don't think people are talking about gaming. I think AI is kind of taking the shine away from gaming, and I think gaming might be like a sleeping giant to some degree. I'd actually disagree with you there. Any specific reason as to why you wouldn't consider low leverage trading, especially when we had the dip a few days ago? I just don't want to. It's just that simple. I'm very stubborn, and when I say I'm not doing something, I won't. It's just how I am. Low leverage trading is fine. I just don't want to risk it. It's just kind of how I am. You know what I mean? Like if I'm low leverage trading, I can be liquidated and I don't want to take that risk at all. Why risk gains? Why risk gains? Why? You know what I mean? Why? What's the point? Long term, if I hold, I'm going to make money. Why risk it in the short term? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. When you look at previous bull versus bear markets, I'm going to move my microphone right there. Hopefully that's a little better. When you look at previous bull markets versus bear markets, it looks like we've been in a bull market just as long as the previous ones lasted. What makes you think we're still in it? Just curious. I think that these bull markets are going to produce less gains and they're going to last longer. That's just my guess. That's kind of why I assume it. That ain't that bad though. That's what I'm saying, bro. Subway is fire. Some people just hate leisure fish. Is there crypto school worth joining at the beginner level, $5 a month? I can't afford the higher price subscription at present. I think so. If anybody in here is in the $5 a month tier, let them know. We do live chats. There's beginners courses, tips with Tyler. There's insights. You can see my purchases and stuff. I think so, but it's up. Value is prescribed isn't the word, but prescribed by the people who have it and want it and use it, not by me. Obviously, I think so, but just depends on you guys. Any advice for a holder? Hold. Simple as hold. Sounds good to me. The Chipotle sauce is fire. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Seems like the lizard people want to take the market down again. Very well might. What are we looking at? How's the market performing? I know we've been talking for a few minutes here. Where's my trading view? Oh, there we go. Bitcoin at 98.8K. Kind of pulling back a little bit. Not too shabby, though. Not too shabby. A little healthy correction. People taking profits. The school is different level, not some pump and dump junk. This dude is legit trading monster, stepping up to the plate and giving real knowledge. Shout out to you. Best $5 I spent. Absolutely worth it. Value is in the eye of the consumer. There you go. There you go. I got a little peanut brain sometimes. What will happen to memes on ETH if ETH dominance will stay poor? They won't do amazing. That pretty, just won't do amazing. That's what happens. Shout out to you all. Skip Starbucks for a day and sign up for $5. Love it. Do Athena, please. We're not going to do that today, but shout out to you, homie. I didn't miss any super chats, did I? Shout out to you, Paul Ruiz. I think I missed this. Shout out to you. Much love, homie. Sorry for missing that. But the question is Subway or Burger King? Subway. I've been trying to get away. Honestly, I don't eat fast food a ton anymore. I just don't sleep as good. Yo, I'm so toxic about my sleep now. It's so annoying. But yo, let me show you guys this real quick. If you don't have like something to track your sleep, you should, in my opinion. Not trying to say anything, but I track my sleep basically every day. I have this little Aura ring. It's super good. I'm not sponsored by them, but I'd love to be. But I track it every day. It's like this is today. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this or not, but I had an 81 sleep score, and I've come to realize when I eat fast food during the day, I don't sleep as good. I don't know why. I'm not a health expert, but I just don't sleep as good. And if I don't drink like a gallon of water a day, I also don't sleep good. So I'm going Subway. I mean, Subway's fast food, if we're gonna be honest. It's shitty, but it's great. You know what I mean? It's like Taco Bell. My man Tyler, the school limited trading and crypto does auto include U.S. stock market now. It doesn't yet. It's only crypto for now. We will eventually add. I think eventually we're going to start a stock school, but for now it's only crypto. What do you think of XRP memes? Love them. Love them. Shoot, I have two. I have Phoenix and I have one more. I think it's Pongo. Yeah, I think it's Pongo. I have those two. I want more, but I just haven't had time to look into them. School is definitely worth it. Nothing overhyped. The coaches are realistic and have a wealth of experience in stock market, not only crypto. The education is priceless. Shout out to you guys. You guys have grinders over there. I used to visit SC and that was amazing. Anyways, love Subway too. Shout out to you. ETH DCA 3250 good for long-term hold or not? Yeah, I think so. Is it good? It's to do with gut health. Makes sense. Ignored over trivial stuff like Subway. DeFi. Are you saying is DeFi I see people reference this in different ways. Some people call the AI version of DeFi, and then there's actually a project called DeFi. Which one are you talking about? Shout out to you. Try Baroque hymn music a while before sleep. That's interesting. Down to that. Down for try that. I just like sleeping good. I feel so good. I don't know much about Turbo, to be honest with you. But if you guys go look on YouTube, type in search, go to Money and I, a dude named Lewis. He talks about Turbo a good bit, I believe. He's a very fantastic channel. Go check him out. Don't ever change your streaming ethic. It's good to see someone with a level head attitude, not overhyped every crypto 100. I try my best. Man, listen, some people always say that on my videos. They'll comment and they'll be like, oh, finally a YouTuber who doesn't clickbait. Finally a YouTuber who doesn't shill. Guys, I'm not guilt-free of that. I'm not going to lie. I've been on YouTube for 4 years. I've seen just about all of it in the crypto world. I've been super clickbaity. I've been super shilly. I've done all that bullshit. I have. And I have. I'm not going to sit there. People think that I have some permanent moral higher standard than everybody else. No, I've just learned from experience. I've learned that clickbait and shilling and all this bullshit is bad. It is. I'm sorry, it is. It's not the way that I want to go about it. Not morally bad. It's just bad for me. I don't want to do it. I don't enjoy it. I got burnt out. In 2023, I wanted to stop making YouTube videos, to be honest with you guys, because I was tired of it. I kept it going. And then about a month and a half ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make videos that I want to make. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm going to be honest, like about how I feel, even if it goes against the trend. I don't care. I'm not going to shill. I'm not going to be, promoting which I've never really promoted anything that I thought was shady, but I really don't promote much these days. Like I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going to make content that I'm proud of and we'll just kind of see what happens. But that comes from learning. So when you see these other YouTubers going through it, you just got to give them time to learn. You got to give them time to grow, as long as they're obviously not promoting scams. That's different. That's something you obviously shouldn't do. But yeah, you just learn and you grow. And it's not like I've always known this. I just learned this. So I appreciate it, but I hope you guys understand. Look, I'm human too. I've made mistakes. I'm trying to just grow from them. It's the best that I can do. All right, let's see. What do you think about Brett? Definitely not showing me the signs of life I'd be hoping for, but it is one that I rotated into a little bit earlier. No way the market sentiment volume ready for a new all-time high. I would agree, but I think it might cook its way up. I think it might slowly cook its way up. I think that would make a lot of sense because we are eating these dips up. Like, if we go to the 1 minute, let's go to the 1 minute, I guess. You can see here, right? Like we are seeing enough. Excuse me, Jesus, that was like a weird little burp cough thing. But I mean, you can see here, like we are maintaining, even in these moments and pullbacks, we are seeing the bulls stepping back in here, which is a good sign. So definitely not enough strength for an all-time high, I don't think right now, but definitely an overall good sign, a very good sign in the market right now. Do I need to sign up for your school to see your portfolio? I don't share my portfolio anywhere. I am going to. It's just hard, guys. How do I explain this? The reason why I don't share my portfolio through and through, people know for the most part what I have, right? Bitcoin, Solana, Sweet, HBAR, XRP, XLM, etc. The issue that I have is that sometimes I buy shit and it flies. Like there was one crypto recently. I'm not going to go super deep into detail about it because again, it sounds like I'm bragging, which I'm not. But I put in maybe 5% or 4% of my total portfolio into this crypto, and then it 11x'd. And so now that is literally like 40% of my portfolio. And I don't want people to see that and think he because that's against my principles. Like I would never put 40% of my portfolio into one thing, maybe Bitcoin. And so it's just hard. And I don't know how to get around that. Like I could have different portfolios, right? Like here's my main portfolio, here's my meme coin portfolio, here's my narrative portfolio. I could do that. Maybe that's something I'll consider doing. But if someone just joins in, then they see that I have 30% of my portfolio into an AI crypto, they're gonna think that I take big risks, and that's not what I do. It just went up a lot, so it's just a hard one. I don't really know how to go around that, to be honest. The news was the CPI data, which came out earlier. Yeah, I tried not to. The huge news was CPI data that came out earlier. What's the wristwatch? This is I'll show you guys. This is one of my favorite watches. You might think it's a little ugly, but I like it. It is a 2021 Omega Constellation, the Meteorite edition. One of my favorite watches. There's a meteorite in the actual watch itself. That's why the white looks like that. One of my favorite watches. I love this watch. All right. I said 2021. I can't remember if this was 2021 or 2020. Anyway. All right. You back up your thoughts with technical analysis was very helpful to beginners. I hope so. I'll keep it up. All right. New subscriber, love the content. Do you think there will be another dump in the market to shake out weekends and before the inauguration? It's possible. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. But momentum feels pretty bullish, and it feels like it's sustainable. So, thank you. Much appreciated. Have you heard about ZK Sync King? Not really. I don't think so. I like the market where we're at right now. Very, very good things happening right now. How far do you think we're going in this pullback consolidation? I'm thinking, I'm starting to feel like it's done. Like I'm starting to, which is scary. If I'm starting to feel like the pullback is over with, that's a little scary because I'm very skeptical. It's just feeling to me like that rip to the downside that we had not too long ago, I think like 2 days ago, might have been it. Like the consolidation, like the depth of it might be over with. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I think the bottom's either in or it's very close to being in. What's the reasoning behind holding XLM and HY when they've pumped a lot already? Many think XRP covers them both, and there are better altcoins that will outperform. It's just diversification. Not putting a lot of my money into them, but just diversifying and holding a little bit of extra. Why not? What if something happens with HBAR? What if Hedera? What if XLM and Stellar? Right? What if some big thing happens? You never know. You never know. So why not? Why not? I am from the Boot, Louisiana. It was good news. Is it okay to take profit? Absolutely. Hell yeah. I will never tell you not to take profit. Take profit. I took profit early and rotated into meme coins. Take profit. Who gives a crap? Somebody tells you not to take profit, they just don't want you to sell their bags. They like that's all. They want if someone tells you not to take profit, they want to, like, how do I explain this? They just simply want to sell at a better price than you're selling at. Like, it's hard to explain, but people who tell you not to take profits, they just don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. You just don't. You simply just don't know what you're talking about. If the bottom is close to end, then why do you think the market will top slowly? Well, I just don't think it's just going to absolutely rip upwards. I don't really particularly see a reason as to why that would happen. Just because I think that the bottom very well might be in doesn't mean that it's immediately going to just take off. You know what I mean? It just might take some time. Curious about algo. I don't really know much about algo these days. Okay. All righty. Well, look, guys, we're an hour and a half in. I've really enjoyed being here, but I want to be able to sustainably live stream. Again, I want to be able to do these 3 or 4 times a week. So we can't do it, we can't do 2-hour, 3-hour streams, but I hope you guys did enjoy. I really enjoyed kind of coming on, telling you all, we watched the news together. We talked about the market together. I told you all my thoughts about Bitcoin, Total 2, Total 3, Ethereum, Solana, SUI, XRP, XLM, and many more. Don't forget that if you have been enjoying this, it really does help if you like the video so more people see it. Subscribe to the channel if you have been enjoying the content. Don't forget there are a couple offers that I have for you out there. If you do want to get a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000, check out BTCC. If you do want to see some of the things that I am buying and selling, a whole bunch of different courses, classes, live streams, sessions, and much more, feel free to check out the Patreon link down below to our crypto school, which you can join for $17 or $5 a month right now. And lastly, don't forget, super important, go follow me on Twitter at Tyler Crypto Talk, because I do post there 5, 6, 7 times every single day, a whole bunch of extra information that I may not be able to post here on the YouTube channel. But overall, guys, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you all for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody. See ya.